Hey, it's Van. Welcome to the Threshold, the place of the intuitive, the mystic, the contemplative, a place to strengthen the connection to your core by living with authenticity and purpose. Have you ever been called a troublemaker? I was recently, and it kind of hurt my feelings. It did make me cringe. Does it make you cringe? Well, upon reflection, I discovered being a troublemaker isn't such a bad thing. So let's talk about why being a troublemaker is really important. So, those words, being a troublemaker, a risk taker, a game changer, those are all about being courageous, identifying the unevenness in my life, in your life, in the world. It's about going against the flow. It's about transforming yourself, and in doing so, changing the world. So I would say being a troublemaker is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the sleepwalkers. It requires that we're awake to the moment, that we live with eyes wide open, that we willingly navigate the fog that obscures living from our core, that we courageously name the fears of what lurks in the shadows of our soul. And by souls, I mean ours, others, and the collective soul. Troublemaking requires letting go of any complacency, naming what has us stuck in stasis, breathing through what stops us, listening to our intuition. It's about gingerly navigating our way through illusion's fog with the clarity of our intuition. Now, there are cautions to engaging in troublemaking. Sometimes we see so clearly what needs to happen that we don't notice that others are not seeing as we do. What is clear to us is mud to them. And so, with personal clarity, we leap into the trouble, land exactly where we need to be, only to discover that others did not leap with us. And there is an ensuing backlash, and all I can do is shudder. I don't even want to go there right now because we have inadvertently caused strife. So the question is, do we stop troublemaking? Of course not. What I will say, with or without our actions, change is inevitable. Things will improve or they devolve. Things never stay the same. To troublemake is to identify what is not working and discern how we are really being called to respond to life's uncertainties and life's unevenness. Now, we may discover upon discernment that a gentle knock is much more effective than a battering ram when we're trying to bring about change. But sometimes we need that battering ram. Troublemaking is all about figuring out what is needed in the moment and then figuring out the most appropriate way to do it. So I will say action through troublemaking is possible through the power of discernment. Through discernment, we answer the questions: what outcome would we like to see? What are the potential ramifications of our actions? This one is important. How might we make trouble in ways that rouse awareness and ruffle feathers without triggering abject fear and irrational anger? Now, while a side effect of troublemaking is the stirring of the pot of fear and anger, we don't want to trigger a cataclysmic reaction. Now, I'm not saying that fear is a bad thing. Fear is part of life. Fear, when acknowledged, is a catalyst for change. Fear, when identified, sparks our courage. It invites us to step more deeply into the shadows, to figure out what is really at the foundation of what's happening. And once in the shadows, we gather the sparks of understanding and wisdom that really have the potential to change the world. So courage asks the big question: what trouble shall I cause? Then our inner wise one strategizes For troublemaking without strategy, without discernment, has the potential to pitch us into a quagmire of anger and fear. Through the strategizing of discernment, we actively engage our inner troublemaker, bringing about transformation in ourselves and change in others. So, what I'm going to say to you is be a troublemaker, but be smart. Name the fear, call upon your courage, understand how others are navigating the unevenness, and even if you don't understand, acknowledge that you're not getting it. Then discern the strategies. Because really, I'm going to say the world needs more troublemakers who can stir up the status quo, let go of the uncertainty, and bring balance to the world. I'm going to end with the words of John Lewis: get in good trouble, necessary trouble, and help redeem the soul of America. And I would add that only troublemaking can redeem the soul of the world. So I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Additional resources are available at vanessafhurst.com. And I'd like to invite you, are you struggling with how can I be a troublemaker in this time? I'm going to invite you to contact me as a contemplative coach. I will help you name the ways that you can strengthen your core, that you can be the troublemaker that the world desperately needs at this time. Thank you. Namaste.